Welcome to YourBostonSports.com. I'm Rob Goodwin. It's September 1st, in the midst of a very difficult season for the Red Sox. Joining me as always, is John Corn. Welcome. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. It's
We
September
went to a
1st
game.
already.
Yeah. We went to a game July 24th. We saw the outcome we expected, right?
Yeah. They
We lost
just,
8 to
they're
4.
just they're having a bad year, that's all. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, we saw Brian Bayo. That was his first start. He didn't pitch that great, obviously. But
He pitched pretty good his last out. Did you see him his last outing? Last
he
week he
did.
pitched
He
pretty
did.
good. And I saw
And
him
it's not
at he played at Worcester a couple weeks before that. And he pitched
right,
very
right.
well.
And it sounds like
So,
they are rather convinced that he's going to be in the rotation next year. Is that what you heard?
hmm he's their top prospect, the top pitching prospect. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Seems to have good stuff. They seem to be pretty high on him
yeah.
for next year.
Yeah, starting
Um,
pitching doesn't seem to be their problem though. It's bullpen. They've had a horrible bullpen this year. Most of
yeah.
the year, anyway.
Well, and like the thing is, do you blame Klein Bloom for that? I mean, you look at it this way: they released Salmora, they DFA'd Salmora. He's now at Worcester. They DFA'd Austin Davis. Diekman got traded to Chicago for Reese McGuire. So, and then I'll throw Brazier in the mix. That's 4 relievers that are not very good, that turned out to not to be very good. So it is Chaim Bloom put that together, right?
The most unpredictable position in sports, Major League
Yeah.
Sports, is a bullpen pitcher. He could be lights
Right.
out one day and stink the joint out the next day.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a guy like Mariano Rivera, is so unique. And
Right.
he
Right.
was lights out for 15 years. Look at Keith Falk. Remember him? He
Yeah.
made Rivera look like a lightweight in October of
Mm-hmm.
2004. The
True.
next year
True.
he stunk.
Yeah.
Same guy.
Yeah.
So it's a very unpredictable. I don't know. He didn't put the bullpen together He didn't put a bad bullpen together purposely, and they do
Right.
have Whitlock in there. Maybe
Yep.
next year they'll find some. They'll get lucky.
Well, and the thing is, like, if 2 of those had worked out well, and you look at it, if they didn't have all the injuries, if I know, but if that all didn't happen, and you go into the playoffs with a couple of relievers, you get some off days during the playoffs, except for that first round. That can carry you through the playoffs. You don't necessarily need 4 or 5 relievers, because you're going to have probably go with a 4-man rotation anyway. So you're going to have an extra arm from the rotation. But having 4
Well,
relievers
yeah.
that really didn't do well, that's tough. Even if they were going to make the playoffs, that's a tall order to me, right?
I'm not sure what point you're making, but they've had a lot, except for Schreiber and Whitlock. They've had a lousy bullpen this year.
Right. Well, I'm
And,
saying if 2 of those guys have worked out well, you can go into the playoffs
yeah,
with Houck, with Whitlock, and 2 of those guys.
yeah, I
Okay,
suppose.
that's four relievers.
Those same pitchers could be lights out in spring training, or we don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
What do
I don't
I
know.
know you're not a doctor, but what do you make of all the injuries? I mean, it seems like the IL has been a revolving door the whole year. It seems like
Unbelievable.
everyone's been on it. Everyone.
Especially if you look at someone like, especially if you look at Sale. I mean, how could someone have that much bad luck?
I know.
He finally comes back, and a line drive shatters his pinky, and then he falls down on a bicycle. I mean, you can't make this story up.
No, you can't.
It's just
But
it's just one of those. It's one of those things like when things go good for a team. It's just one of those things.
But
You know.
Evaldi's been on it twice, and Hawk was on it.
Yeah.
Story was on it. I mean, I don't know if they're going to point to the medical or training staff at some point to find out why did all this happen, and I don't know what to make of it. but it seems like it seems like the number of injuries is just staggering for them this year.
Yeah. That's the biggest culprit is the injuries.
Yeah,
After that, probably the bullpen. After that, sometimes you just don't get on a roll, you know?
yeah. I mean, you have to admit that Winkowski, Cutter Crawford actually have pitched well. You know, whereas they've had times where they had no one to bring up. So I guess those are two bright spots. That you had two young pitchers step up and pitch pretty well overall.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you, the funny thing to me was when they brought in Brazier 2 nights ago, and X said, "Well, Cora has so much confidence in him,"
Gives up a bomb.
and Dave O'Brien says, "Well, he's good. His ERA is over his 6 point whatever, and opposing batters are hitting 308 against him, and 2 pitches later, grand slam." Where's the confidence? Why? You know, there's a lot of people that I know, and like the Winter Weekend group and our page, who have said, "Oh, Moore is done, Davis is done. What about Brazier? Why is he still there?" You know, for some reason, I guess Cora does have some level of confidence in him.
See, a starting pitcher can have a bad inning. A starting pitcher can have a bad inning. He get knocked around in the second inning and have inning 1, inning 3, inning 4, inning 5, and 6 go good for him. He's had a great start. He wins the game. A relief pitcher can't have a bad inning. Okay? So more is expected of a relief pitcher, number one. Number two, for some reason, it's the most unpredictable position in sports. Any sport is a bullpen pitcher. You don't know what you're getting. If you knew what you're getting, everybody'd have a good bullpen. Every team in the country would have a good bullpen. Oh, this guy can pitch for 1 inning. Here, pitch 110 miles an hour for 1 inning. They don't do it. They can't do it. I got allergies or something. That's why I'm coughing. I don't have COVID.
You don't have COVID?
Your image is a little blurry on the screen there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, they talk about, bullpens. Everyone has to have a role, You don't think those guys are ready to pitch when that phone rings? Of course they are,
Yeah.
I mean, I know you got, you can't, a closer by committee, teams try it. It works. It doesn't work. But, those guys are ready. Those guys are ready. I mean, if they're overworked, I guess that's one thing, But, generally they're ready to pitch. Like you said, how well they pitch is unpredictable.
Yep. They have good starting pitching.
Yeah.
They say it starts with starting pitching. If you have a good starting rotation, you can build around that.
Right.
I'm wondering if Bogarts is going to be there next year.
What's that?
I'm wondering if Bogarts is going to be there next year.
Well, that's
he's the leader of the team. He's probably their second best player after Devers. If they lose him, they're
Do you think he'll opt out?
I don't know. You can't predict what a player's going to do. So often you think he's going to stay or go or do this or that. You never know what he's going to do. You never know what a player's going to do. Some of the signings, it's weird. Did you think Mookie Betts would end up on the Mets? I mean, on not the Mets, the Dodgers?
No.
Just
no.
Jackie Bradley's playing for Toronto.
Toronto.
I didn't think I'd see that. You never know where a player's going to end up. It's weird. Once in a while, you'll see somebody that stays forever. An Adam Wainwright with the Cardinals.
Right.
Trout with the Angels, but most of them, you have no idea what they're thinking. I think they're being too influenced by their agents and big money and stuff like that.
Well, when I think of Bogarts, with this year, they'll odds are they'll end up in last place. They'll end up out of the playoffs. And I know that, he's obviously been hurting. He's got some nagging stuff going on that we don't know about.
Yeah.
And yet he's still hitting 300. He's not going to bat in 100. He customarily has batted in 100, which he's not going to. And really no one on the team is, but that's besides the point. Do you really think he's going to leave this to be his last season in Boston by opting out?
I mean, he's the leader of the team. Question. He's having a bad year. No, I I mean, you ask me what I would do, I would stay. But I don't. These guys are weird. I don't know what they're
Yeah.
thinking.
I just don't. I hope I'm right that I don't see him being as selfish as some others, like Jacoby Ellsbury, the way he just said, "I'm out of here." They could throw a boatload of money at him. He's not staying. You know, I'm thinking Bogarts can't possibly leave this as his last Red Sox season. Last place, not batting at 100, not having his best
You
year.
know, he'd want to
And,
leave
and
on
I don't,
top somehow. Yeah.
yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think, I'm not saying he's a shoulder to blame, but I just don't,
But do players really think that way anymore? It just
uh,
it's a business.
it is.
It's a business to them. It's a business to the owners. It's just you hate to say it, but it really is just a business.
Right.
You know,
But do you think there's a chance he'll think differently? I don't know.
being the leader of the team, yeah, he may be thinking that.
Yeah.
You know, I owe it to the fans and to the organization to see what we can do next year.
Yeah.
You would
And they
think he would do
signed,
that, but who knows? You
they
know,
signed him to a big contract when they didn't have to. He's not making 10. He's making 20, you know? So I don't know. Maybe it's just wishful thinking on my part.
but who's going to offer him 30? Nobody's going to offer him 30 million a year. He's not. He's not having a good enough year.
Yeah. But you
Devers,
never
they
know.
would. This guy could hit 40 home runs a year for the next 10 years. They're thinking, yeah, they might offer him that next year, but I don't see Bogarts getting a Mookie Betts type contract. Do you?
No, I don't think so either.
I don't
But
think. I don't think so. Who's going to
he's
offer
much
more
more
than 20? Yeah. Yeah, who's going to offer more than what the Red Sox are giving him right now? I don't see that. Do you?
no. And what team is he more valuable with than the Red Sox? No one. No one.
Look what Fred Lynn did. Of course, that was a completely different world back then.
Yeah.
He was probably making $100,000 a year when he left Boston, but look
Right,
what he
right,
did
right.
to himself. He'd be a Hall of Famer if he stayed in Boston.
Exactly. So the couple teams in baseball that are doing well. Obviously, the Orioles. I'll
Yeah,
root for them.
they may
I'll
make
root for
the
them.
2 games outside of the wild card. The last time I looked,
Yeah.
good for them.
Good for
That,
them.
that's
Good
a
for the fans.
wonderful franchise. They got a great history, a lot of great tradition. One of the most beautiful ballparks in the country. Good
Yep.
for them.
Right. Right. Right.
I hope they do. I hope they make the playoffs and have a good season next year.
Yep. That's for you, Joe K.
Yeah.
And what about the Mets?
Oh man, I tell you, you can't be a baseball fan and not enjoy watching the Mets. They're all having good years. They're all having, they got a great manager. The fans are incredible, and Jacob DeGrom, he was out for a year. He was out from July 1st of last year to July 1st of this year, thereabouts, and he just like he never missed a start. He's averaging what they say 17 strikeouts per 9 innings. Right off a year off, right back out of the chute. Incredible. So they were saying he got 65 strikeouts and 3 walks. This is Pedro Martinez stuff. He won't have the final numbers, I don't think, that Pedro had. I think Pedro had 3,000 strikeouts at the end of his.
Right.
Did he?
Yeah.
Excuse me. But
You don't have
what
COVID,
a,
right?
what a
You
thing.
don't
Yeah,
have
so
COVID.
I would
Because
I
you could.
would I would bet on the Mets in a short series with Scherzer,
Yeah.
DeGrom, and they got the best closer in baseball on Edwin Diaz. I would. They're not. The Dodgers are the best team in the National League. I would bet on the Mets in a 7-game series or 5-game series.
Now, are the Mets winning because of Buck Showalter or in spite of him? I mean, when they signed him, I kind of laughed. I mean, his
Yeah,
demeanor in Baltimore was you know, kind of a
yeah.
jerk.
I mean, one horrible year after
A little
another,
bit
and all of a sudden
whining
he's
about the Red Sox, this, blah blah
yeah,
blah. But look at him
yeah,
now.
and all of a sudden he's the managing probably the second best team in the National League. I don't know. Baseball is a very mysterious game.
Yeah.
Those that know it, Those that really know it. People say it's boring. They don't know what they're talking about. It's a very there's a lot of things that don't. All of a sudden, the team is good. All of a sudden, everything's clicking, everything's meshing with them. The Mets look like one of those teams right now.
I guess no one questioned Buck Showalter's baseball acumen, right?
Baseball, what?
His baseball knowledge, his baseball acumen.
Yeah, he's a good manager.
I mean, I don't think anybody questioned that.
No,
But my hats off to him for the job he's doing in
but it's
New York.
interesting that they hired a manager that age, to manage a team. They're doing that good. They're an interesting team to watch. They really are. I tell you, I love watching the games in the SNY. All they do is talk about baseball. You don't have to see some idiot watching somebody eat a an ice cream cone or something like that where they're interviewing let's go interview this guy by the they don't make a kiddie show out of it. It's all baseball.
Yeah.
They're New York's a great baseball town, even though I'm a Red Sox fan. It really is. But the Mets have great fans. You were there with me when they had those. What's that group that follows them around the country?
Oh, the rooters. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I forget what they're called.
There are a couple thousand of them there.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
great fans.
I went to a game, Mets at Fenway years ago, and was sitting amongst all of them in the right field corner,
Yeah.
totally surrounded.
Yeah, they're just great fans. They don't go berserk when they win. They don't go berserk when they lose. But they just love their team.
Well, I think I know a couple that are extremely excited because they're winning this year.
Yeah.
I know a couple that definitely are just so excited that they're playing well and winning.
They should be.
Yeah. So I mean, I have to talk about the Yankees. I mean, they're obviously still in first place, and they will be. They've been stumbling
For
a lot.
now. They've lost about 11 games, haven't they?
Yeah.
Weren't they about 16 games out in front of?
Houston.
Yeah, they were in the last month. I think they're 6 games out in front now
Yeah.
with a month to go.
And their best pitcher, Garrett Cole, is not unbeatable, right? That's kind of been surprising to me. I thought that he'd be unbeatable.
Yeah,
Red Sox have beaten him a couple times this year.
they're going to have a very difficult time getting past Houston.
Yeah.
The Yankees.
So do you think that's going to be a tough one for them? Houston's good, huh? Yeah, they are.
What is that expression? Built for postseason.
Mm-hmm.
I think Houston and the Mets are built for postseason.
Yeah.
I think the Mets can beat the Dodgers, and I think Houston can beat the Yankees. And
Sure.
yeah, I think in a short series, they got more resources to win a short series.
Right. Like I said, you have the starting pitching. You drop one of your starting pitchers into the bullpen to strengthen that.
Yeah.
Derek Lowe did that in 2004. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a perfect example.
Oh, he was amazing in 2004, wasn't he?
He was.
What a story that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. He showed up at all three clinching games.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. So, well, when we went to Fenway, the expectation was they were going to lose, but we still had a good time. We had our friend Mike Baker,
day, huh?
Mike Baker with us, wearing his Thurman Munson jersey. Give him credit
he bought
for wearing that.
He bought a Carl Yastrzemski jersey
On the way out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he wanted to stop at the souvenir store, and he bought a away jersey in number 8.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask. He was supposed to join us tonight. I want to ask him if he's worn it yet. Not sure.
Yeah.
But we had a good day. It was a good day at Fenway, anyways. Even though the outcome was kind of expected. Too bad going in. That's what's happening. I know they won. I know they won last night. But I think keep the eye on the future, and we hope to also see everyone at Winter Weekend at MGM Springfield and the Mass Mutual Center in January. We hope that takes place, right?
Yeah, it might be easy to get an upgrade.
Easy to buy tickets that day.
Hey, I saw your the picture of me you posted looking for the bloody sock.
Yeah. I was going to correct you. It was actually a picture of Pedro Martinez, but you told
No.
someone that was Kurt Schilling in the bloody sock, and they believed you.
Oh, I was
That was at the Hall of Fame.
yeah. It was a picture of Carlton Fisk, and I was telling somebody that he hit that home run with a bloody sock. The poor lady believed me. I was
Yeah,
joking.
that was at Fenway, looking into the old ticket windows inside
Yeah.
Gate A, right?
Yeah.
And she probably told that story to a bunch of people that she met.
Yeah.
You know, guess what I saw, right?
Poor woman, I deceived her. I'll apologize
Well,
to her next time we go.
well, you know what? I'm hoping the Red Sox go 500 the rest of the way. Oh, and by the way, if we can talk about this, so Reese McGuire, not bad, got him from the White Sox for Diekman, and they just got another reliever as the player to be named. So they lost Vasquez, they got McGuire, they have him under team control for a couple of years. And when you went to Worcester a couple of times, right? See the Woo Sox?
Yep.
How did Connor Wong do anything when you saw him?
Who?
Connor Wong, the catcher.
Good.
They say he's been on an
Actually,
absolute tear.
he hit a home run. He hit a home run when I saw him last
He
time,
did.
and Franchi Cordero hit a grand slam.
Yeah, yeah.
It was about 2.5 weeks ago.
And then they
He's
called
back
him
up now, Cordero.
Yeah. So they say Connor Wong's tearing it up at Worcester right now. So the possibility is that they let Plawecki go because Plawecki's a free agent, and then they platoon Reese McGuire and Connor Wong next year. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess McGuire's actually been hitting pretty well, and defense looks pretty solid. So, looks like they have at least one catcher for next year that they're planning
Yeah.
on, and Connor Wong could be number 2.
A lot of it does everything just fall your way though.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
really does.
Yep.
You know, sometimes a team will get hot. A team won't have any injuries. Remember the '04 Red Sox? Not one starter pitched one start. Every
Right.
single, all 5 starters made their start every single time. Like that's
That,
like winning the lot. That's like lightning striking.
that's
But
unheard of.
everything went right
Yep,
that year. You know,
exactly. Right, right.
right now everything's going wrong.
Yeah, I just don't want to see him have another, 11 and 19 September. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
How do you go and get a great bullpen? I don't know how to do that. Maybe a good general manager does, but I don't know how you just go get a great bullpen.
You just got to, piece it together and figure out what
A
the
lot of
roles
it's-
might be,
yeah.
and however it works, right?
Yeah, hope everything works the way it's supposed to. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I appreciate you spending the time tonight. We'll probably do another show coming up. I know you can't make it, but the World Series Club of Greater Harvard is meeting September
8th, yeah.
8th. Hall of Famer
Yeah,
Tim
yeah.
Raines is the guest.
They do that once a month. There's going to be another one in October.
I haven't heard yet. I
Yeah.
assume so, but I haven't heard yet.
They'll probably announce it then. Yeah.
So I know you can't make it. I will be there, probably doing a show beforehand. Tim Raines, the Hall of Famer, is the guest. If you're in the Connecticut area, it's at the VFW New Britain on September 8th.
It's a
And
great,
if you want
great organization. It really is.
Fantastic. Great president.
Fantastic.
Monty's a great president, too.
It's baseball, you know. You got a
Right.
bunch of old time. Most of them are older people, and they just love talking about baseball. Mm-hmm. And you know,
And I'd
Yeah.
like to see more kids go because I think kids would love it, too.
yeah.
You know?
Well, absolutely. But it's just baseball talk.
Right,
You know?
right.
Not
So
a lot
if
of
anyone's
stats.
interested
Not
in
a lot of
going-
this. Not a lot of that. It's just nothing flashy about it.
Well,
Guys
especially
telling
with Tim
stories about
Raines.
their experience in the major leagues and questions from the fans. You know.
23 seasons. I'm sure Tim Raines has some good stories to tell.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yep.
Is he?
Yep. So if anyone's interested in going, you can go to, pretty sure, www.worldseriesclub.com or just Google it and click on upcoming events and you'll see the registration page. It's $45 for non-members, $30 for members. And you get a good meal. You get the Q&A,
Great meal.
meet and greet. the guest, in this case Tim Raines, will sign one item for you. You can either purchase a picture of him when you register for I think $5, or bring your own ball or card or whatever, and he'll sign it. So always nice to do the meet and greet too. So appreciate you spending the time tonight, John Corn.
Yeah.
And I'll be talking to you, and everyone catch up with us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, Instagram too, actually. So thanks again, Corn. Have a good night. Take care,
Good night,
everyone.
everybody. Yep.